What up, what up, what up, what up? It's me, L Teddy 27.
Good as night, right about the hood.
Oh, dear God, I'm already eating a drink.
Look a damn mess, just a damn mess. No means no, and yes means no. This white man with a small penis started something that allowed you to hate on black men with big penises because you were jealous. What up, 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 what up? What's good, people? What is up? What's up? It's me, L Teddy 27, y'all. I'm back beating on my chest, of course, for another review. New show alert, new show alert, new show alert. This is a new show alert. And this is going to be our review for The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. This is season 1. This is episode 1, and it is entitled Welcome to Salt Lake City. All right, let's delve right in. So, finally, y'all get to come into a show from the beginning. And so now we have newfound attachment to this show because we're here from the beginning. So we'll see how this goes. Anyway, so we first meet Jen. Jen is at her home, the chalet. With her family, we meet her husband. His name is Sharif Shah. He's a coach at the University of Utah. They've been married a long time. He's a Q. She has 2 sons. I think one is 24 and one is 14. The older son, I think, is trying to get into medical school or something like that. She's from Hawaii, so she has all of that ancestry in her with the Pacific Island ancestry and lineage and so forth. Now, she did mention how they are Muslim, and she started off as Mormon, but she found out that the Mormon tradition she found out from her husband that in the Mormon tradition they didn't even accept black people to the 70s. We'll get there later. And so she she converted to Islam, and her husband is Muslim as well. Anyway, so we see her interaction with her family. She talked about how ignorant as white people down to the Salt Lake City thought she was black, and she ain't nobody's black. Her husband black. She got black up in her literally when her husband bangs her out. But her sons are black, but she ain't black. But that's a whole nother story. You know, ignorant white people do that kind of stuff. Anyway, so what stuck out to me was this conversation she had with her 14-year-old son, trying to explain to him what sexting was and all about sex. And she was like, yeah. And so the older son was, joking with the younger son and was like, oh, you don't know what sexting is? And they're like, no. Because they look like, girl, that little boy probably get more sex than you right now. Anyway, she even had the nerve to tell that boy if he kissed somebody, he can get HIV from kissing somebody. Girl, the Botox injections don't went to your brain, honey. You need to lay off that Botox, honey, because it don't went to your brain, honey. Oh, dear God. Brain cells just scattered all across the mountains of Utah. Anyway, then we meet Heather. So, Heather, how do I put this delicately? She looked like a man. She looked like a man. She looked like a man. I ain't gonna lie. She's very strong features. She looked hard in the face. Mind you, contrast that with you own a whole clinic, shop, or whatever for cosmetic surgeries and procedures that you can done to beautify yourself. Girl, how you missed out on your own beautification is my own question. But girl, I ain't gonna hate on you too tough. That's all I'm gonna give you for right now. Anyway, and then she went on this tirade saying, oh, we started from nothing and we're worth now $20 million with our business. But then you went on this 5-minute spiel about how your family inherited money from Howard Hughes, and you come from a family that's very wealthy and very well-to-do. Well, girl, you didn't come from nothing. It ain't like you started from scratch. You ain't have no startup money. No, you just told us your family is rich. You had a whole lot of startup money. You could afford to maybe, have the business flounder for a little bit because you had the capital to sustain it, even if it did. And even if it didn't, it's probably because, like you said, your family is well connected and you know all of these people and you can get all of these people to come immediately and patronize your business. Girl, I ain't trying to hear it. You know white people and they privilege, and they're going to tell you how they struggled while my family is billionaires over here. But we struggled because we had to give up millions of dollars. Girl, if you don't go sit down somewhere. Anyway, she seemed to be all about the Mormon faith or whatnot. Then she told us how she tried so hard to go by the Mormon faith doctrine. But then she clued us in on some of this doctrine that said that she's not allowed to love black men or rap music or homosexuals. So let me get this straight. This religion started by this white man started something that allowed him to hate on. No, let me start this over. This white man with a small penis started something that allowed you to hate on black men with big penises because you were jealous and you didn't want nobody else and you didn't want all the white women to go and find out that the black men had more to offer than what you had to offer. And so you wanted to stifle their growth and their process, and you wanted them to just be able to get banged out by little white men and their little peens because your white privilege was, in jeopardy. Kind of got that whole Mormon religion settled in on how we started this. Just asking for myself. Anyway, as your resident black man who likes rap music and happens to be homosexual as well. So you can't even watch. Listen, Heather, you probably can't even watch my video at all, much less like or comment on my video. Babe, you don't broke every Mormon doctrine known to man. That's a whole nother story. Anyway, she's divorced. And that doesn't bode well for her within the Mormon church. She got teenage daughters that came over, and they over there having cosmetic procedures. So is that a thing, like rich white people, you let your young daughters still going through puberty just be subjected to cosmetic procedures, injecting things in their bodies and stuff like that? I'm just asking for myself. Yeah. Moving on, Meredith, we met. We met her son, who seemed like one of the girls. He seems like one of the girls. I ain't gonna say he's gay. I'm just gonna say he has a certain amount of femininity. That XX chromosome, the part of that bottom part is kind of fading away, where it looks like. I'm sorry, that Y chromosome, the part of it is being drawn back in, and it looks like it's turning into an X chromosome and not being an XY anymore. Y'all know what I'm saying. Anyway, I think I did a horrible job of explaining that, but y'all know what I mean. He's 21. Her husband named Seth. She's Jewish and she's from Chicago. She got a son named Reed that's 23 and a daughter named Chloe that's 18. I guess they ain't agreed to be a part of the show like that because we don't see no parts of them. Maybe we will later, honey. Her husband is always in Chicago on business, and she owns, I think, a jewelry business or something like that. Anyway, the husband say, "Girl, I need more sex in my life." Now, if you expect me to believe that the husband gonna tell us that he ain't get enough sex, but he's all the way in another part of the country, across the fruited plains, in a city like Chicago, and not busting down any and everything he can bust out in Chicago, girl, I'm sure that'll be a part of her storyline at some point, because I know Seth is over there getting down with the get down. He gives me the type that he's paying for, because I don't know that anybody would willingly want to have sex with him. But girl, however you get it how you live, honey. We then meet Lisa. She's from New York. She's Jewish. She, according to her, is Jewish by heritage, Mormon by choice. Her parents kicked her out the house at 17. Girl, they probably saw her and said, "Girl, get out. Girl, we done had enough of you and your antics and your foolery, your fucktitude. Girl, get out my house." And she had to go. She went off to school. She been married 16 years. She'll know how to cook. She'll know how to clean. She probably married somebody with money, so that way she ain't have to learn how to cook and clean. She can have nannies and housekeepers and all of that. So, the privilege of white people. She got 2 sons named Jack and Henry. Child. That's so funny that she said she professes, "I never cook for my son." So, because that's a part of growing up as a child. As a child, you get used to your parent, your mom, or dad, or grandpa, or whoever you live with who's raising you. Your palate, your diet gets, gets catered to that style of cooking or those choices in spices and flavors and things like that. So you grow up authentically just loving the food of your family, with your diet and everything. But if your mama never cooked for you a day in your life, so you think that good food is Taco Bell, McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, girl, make it all make sense. Anyway, she owns a marketing company, and her husband owns several, or has created several brands of liquor and tequila and vodkas and stuff like that, child. I don't know that I ever drank their liquor because I'm monogamous in my alcohol drinking. I am monogamous to the Bombay Sapphire. Judge your mama, don't judge me. Anyway, I mean, every now and again, I'll cheat on Bombay Sapphire and go to Hendrix Gin, but I try to stay monogamous. Anyway, Jen goes, we did see Jen. She goes over to Heather's clinic shop, cosmetic surgery, swap shop, flea market, to get some Botox in her armpits because she tired of sweating, and wants the sweat to stop. Hi, Jen. They have this little stuff called deodorant, and I know it might be a little bothersome to have a little white coat of deodorant underneath your armpits. But hey, we live in this thing called a human body that has sweat glands for a reason, so as to keep the body cooled down when we get too hot, because we're warm-blooded creatures and we can't get too hot or too cold or we'll die. So these little things like sweat glands go a long way, so we don't end up like dogs who don't have sweat glands and have to keep our mouths open all day and our tongues out trying to cool ourselves off. I'm just saying, make sure. Oh Jesus. Anyway, Jim talks about it's Meredith's birthday coming, and she tells Heather how she wants to throw Meredith this big extravagant birthday party at her chalet, turn it into Studio 54, and have scrippers and all of that. And immediately Heather says, "But I don't know that Meredith's into that type of stuff. You think she'll like it? She gonna like it because I'm throwing it. Get over it." So that's how we find out, and we'll find out a little bit later that this wasn't no party for Meredith. This was really a party for Jen. Just Meredith, you just gonna be a guest at your own birthday party. Child, girl, child. We meet Whitney. Whitney, she's getting remarried, renewing her vows to her husband. Her husband, who's almost 20 years older than her, 18 to be exact. They've been married 10 years, baby. Their marriage started because she cheated on her husband. He cheated on his wife at work with each other. They worked together, and they was cheating on their respective spouses with each other. And they ended up getting married, and they called. So basically, y'all was each other's bust down, and y'all ended up marrying each other. I'm just saying, getting ceremoniously excommunicated from the Mormon Church in the process. I guess, honey. Like I told y'all earlier, Heather, if you ever watch this video, you'll be excommunicated from the Mormon Church too. I already told you why. Anyway, we then see Jen. She riding around with her assistant because she got money. So she has assistants, plural. She riding around with the first assistant because there's levels to this. There's the first assistant, second assistant. Girl, there's levels to assistantship. Anyway, they talking about working out the details to throw in this shebang for Meredith. And Jen is known for her over-the-top shindigs, so this one is going to be no exception. Meredith, then we see her at home. Lisa comes over, and so does Jen. And so Jen brings up the fact that she had met up with Lisa and found out that Lisa knew Heather back from school because Jen and Heather are real close. So Jen tells Lisa, "Yeah, Heather told me y'all went to school together and y'all been close for like 20 years and stuff like that." And Lisa looked at her like, "Girl, I know who you talking about, but girl, I don't know her like that, girl. Girl, we weren't friends, girl. She was over there with them girls I ain't really hang with. Girl, she was beneath me. Girl, what did she call her? It was a good time girl. Girl, she was one of the girls that was a skank and tried to break all the rules, and we ain't hang around her type. Girl, she was beneath her. That's what she was giving, honey. Very much elitist tease, honey. I've been known to be elitist, but not like that, honey." Anyway, Heather says, but Heather was like, "Girl, we definitely knew each other, and we done been friends and communicating and talking all these 20 years since school. So, girl, don't try to act brand new." I was like, "Ooh, well then. So we know that's gonna be a storyline, honey. I love to see how these storylines build from the beginning. So I'm like that we're in this from the beginning. So then Mary meets up with Whitney, and they go out for food and drinks. So Mary, we meet her, and she's been married for 21 years. Now, y'all, I guess we're going down this rabbit hole. Mary is married to her step-grandfather because she claims her grandmother told her grandmother told her husband, if I die, I want you to marry one of my girls because they'll protect you. What? You don't have to get married to look out for and protect your granddad. I don't think marriage is a requirement for that. Don't old people give you worms or something like that? So I feel like you got worms, Mary. Anyway, girl, please, Mary, nothing you say from here on out is believable. Because this whole cockamamie story about your grandma telling you to marry her husband on her deathbed does not seem plausible. Girl, if you don't go sit down somewhere, how would she even know? Girl, my grandma did tell me that. Okay, grandma, I got you. And when she died, girl, you ain't gonna know. You did. The question is, was this already getting started before the grandma died? Was y'all already busting each other down before the grandma died? And that's how this all ended up happening. Child, it's just nasty. Anyway, she's Pentecostal. She ain't Mormon. She Pentecostal. She's first lady because I guess the granddad is the husband at this church, Faith Temple. Now, explain to me how this went down. Is it Kojic? I would love to know if this Faith Temple is Kojic because that sounds like the name of a Kojic. You know how many Faith Temple Church of God in Christ I know? I know at least about 38 of them. Anyway, it sounds like a Kojic church. Anyway, but how did that go down to the church house? I'm going to just make up a last name Jackson. Let's say they last name Jackson, okay? First Lady Jackson dies. Reverend Jackson is mourning her death. The Sunday after the funeral, we got a new First Lady. She's still First Lady Jackson, but is old First Lady Jackson's granddaughter. Girl, whatever. Anyway, Whitney tells Mary about Jen's party because she got the text. Mary said, well, she ain't going to invite me anyway. But she did end up getting the invitation because Meredith, when she told Jen who she wanted to come to the party, had Mary on the list. So then we learned about the storyline with Mary and Jen. They used to be real close. Mary claims she got this whole thing about hospital smells conjuring up all kinds of feelings within her and making her nauseous or whatever. And one day Jen had been at the hospital with her aunt who, you know, had been very important in her life, probably helped raise her. And her aunt ended up having to get her legs amputated. And she had been in the hospital with her aunt for like days and days at a time. And so she probably was in a very bad place. And when she rolled up on Mary, Mary was like, girl, get up off me. You smell like hospital. You about to make me vomit. Girl, I don't want no parts of you. Instead of being a real friend and being, you know, comforting and helping your friend out when that friend has one of their closest relatives going through procedures that could possibly kill them. You like, girl, get up off me because I don't like your little hospital smell. Girl, Mary, you a damn mess. Mary, you are a damn mess. Just a damn mess. Child. We'll go down that road a little bit later. We then see Jen at her chalet getting her home together for this party. This mic is ridiculous. That whole microphone situation is ridiculous, Jen. But I guess if, you know, them people getting paid enough, they'll do whatever you tell them to do. Her husband don't even know what's going on because she got to keep everything from him. Heather comes over. Jen tells Heather about what Lisa said. How Lisa said, girl, I ain't know her like that. And Heather was like, this bitch right here, what the fuck? Heather was like, I know you the fuck like, fuck that bitch. She thinks she better than me. That bitch ain't shit. I was with you, Heather. I was with you, girl. She was like, girl, she want to call me a good time girl. Like I was over here just doing it up. Like I was girls going wild. Bitch, I was a fucking virgin when I got married. I don't know, Heather, whether you was virgin, whether you got married. But if you say you was, I'm just going to believe you, girl. Anyway, she was not here for no, Lisa, honey. We then see Meredith at her house. It was her birthday, and her husband done set up for flowers and shit to be put up in the house and stuff. And the son Brooks had to, you know, have it all set up and everything. And he called, but girl, I was with everybody else. You my husband. I don't care what you had going on. You better find your way to me. Y'all got all this money. You got private jets and everything. And if you ain't got no private jets, you got the kind of money where you could get a first class red eye down from Chicago to Salt Lake City to come see me for my birthday and then fly your ass back. I don't give a shit what you got to do, but you better have your ass down here for my birthday. But that's a whole nother story, girl. If you like it, I love it. If it's good for you, it's great for me. She's 48 telling people she's 35. Girl, get your life. Anyway, Meredith's birthday party happened. Girl, it looked like a grand affair. Now, it was a baby. I ain't gonna lie, Jen, girl, you did that, honey. That party seemed real big, honey. Had child. She had flowers with like the words on the spelled out with the flowers, but instead of it saying Meredith's happy birthday, Meredith, that shit said Jen's chalet. Oh no, Shaw Chalet, because Jen's last name is Shaw. I was like, oh, no mention of Meredith, honey. Girl, it was so bad. One of these whores came into the little room where Jen was getting dressed and was like, girl, happy birthday. Here's a birthday gift. And Jen was like, oh, it's not my birthday. It's Meredith. And she was like, oh, well, I thought, oh. Just a damn mess. Just a damn mess. Anyway, Meredith arrived and she looked around and was like, oh, I'm really a guest at my own birthday party. This ain't for me, girl. This is for a mess. Anyway, I mean, it was so bad. She had to flew in some Tongan dances and stuff from, you know, the Pacific Islands and stuff like that. And the producer was like, what that got to do with Meredith? I said, the party. I threw the party. I paid the money. So, girl, I'm going to have who I want to have, girl. Anyway, honey, I guess. Child. So then we get that sit down conversation between Mary and Jen asked her about it. And so Mary was like, well, girl, who told you this? She was like, Carrie. And so Mary was like, well, bring Carrie over here because I need to see exactly what she said. Girl, Carrie came over there. And what did you tell? Jen? I told her what you said. That you said you had a problem with how she smelled, because she smelled like hospital and it bothered you. And she tried to dismiss Carrie. And I was like, wait a minute, bitch. She tell, well, why are you here? This don't have nothing to do with you. Bitch, you called me over here. You asked for me. You summoned me over here. And I done came. And Carrie looked like she was here for all the smoke for Mary. Carrie looked like, girl, you wanted this? Girl, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. What do you want? I was here for Carrie. Carrie gave me my life, honey. I was here for Carrie. And baby, Mary then had been caught in her fuck shit. And so now she can't really, because her ego is too high, so she can't really backpedal and pussy pop out of it now. She got to go on with it and say, yeah, I said it, and what? So, girl, and now she get mad at Carrie because Carrie told you can't get mad at Carrie, girl. You got to get mad at yourself. See, let me tell you who the fuck Mary is. Mary gives me, this is why I asked her what she told you. Because Mary, who seems very judgmental, who seems like a bitch that'll say any fucking shit out her mouth, don't give a shit how you feel about it, how it hurts somebody, how it's incendiary, how it's distasteful, how it's inappropriate. She don't give a shit what she say out of her mouth, even to her friends and people she claims to care about. And she just gonna do it and say it. All the while, she's wants to paint herself as being pious and holier than thou, and I'm the first lady of my church, and I'm oh so religious. Girl, you gonna be the first one to bust hell wide open. She seems like a bust hell wide open bitch, okay? The girls who sit on the front pew of the church, the girls who's married to the pastor, but the girls who's gonna be the front row in the 7th level of hell. You hear me? Busting hell wide open. I wasn't here for Mary, and it went off from there. First impressions, even though I picked that Heather, I do kind of like Heather. I don't see it for Mary yet. Everybody else, the jury is out on. Jen, I got to see more Jen. Sometimes I like her, sometimes I don't. Meredith seems like I might like her, but girl, when you hang around the likes of Mary, I don't know. Lisa, girl, I want to hear for you. I know how you is, because I can be elitist like you is sometimes, Lisa, but I was like, ooh, because I kind of like Heather. Meredith, I don't know Meredith. I just feel like I need to know more about Meredith. But I do like the show. I like the dramas that I see so far. It's going to open up a lot of conversations, and it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Go watch this episode. Let me know what you think about it. And let's get down in the comment section and argue about what we saw and how we felt. Until next week, that's all I got for y'all. Thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out.